Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We have an exciting interview video for you guys today with the Swipelux team. We're delighted to welcome Philippe from the Swipelux team onto the channel to discuss all things around Web3 and the on-ramping service that they provide to bring a new mass audience to the Web3 crypto space in a various different formats. So if you haven't seen Swipelux before, definitely have a bit of a look around their website. Of course, as you can see, there's a lot of on-ramping services. What we mean by this is the ability to convert things like fiat and stable coins into a cryptocurrency and vice versa. And this is very, very important for when we're looking at things like the different sectors within blockchain itself, but also on the external factor as well. And Philippe will go into a bit more detail about that as they try to delve further and further into the Web 2 space, or traditional world really, in terms of small businesses, whether it be shops or actual like commercial outlets and things like this, as well as I just said, the utilization on a browser format, wallet format, you name it. Swipelux has a very interesting solution for the on-ramping side of it and facilitating payments as well. And I think some of the key factors here is working with the likes of Visa and MasterCard, as you can see on the screen. It's a really fascinating project and technology, and I've been very fortunate to have worked with Philippe in the past, and I'm sure you guys are going to find this very interesting. We've actually got a few different topics around certainly like artificial intelligence, real world assets, digital identities. All of these have a massive part to play in what Swipelux are trying to achieve, but also just the whole infrastructure of crypto and blockchain moving forward. So without further ado, let's go straight into this one, and we'll see you after the interview. Okay, guys, we are delighted to have Philippe Collet here from Swipelux. Philippe, welcome to the channel. It'd be fantastic if you give us a brief, quick introduction about yourself and a slight overview of Swipelux as well. I don't want to ruin too much of the second question that I will ask you, but yeah, the floor is yours, my friend.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here. My name is Philippe. I am one of the co-founders at Swipelux, and we are helping Web3 companies to onboard more Web2 users and doing everything we can to fulfill the mission of onboarding 1 billion users to the Web3.
Awesome. Yeah, that's actually quite interesting that you threw that number out there. So for me personally, when I've been looking at kind of like the research aspects of this, I mean, I've been fortunate to work with you in the past, Philippe, and I know what you guys are about. So I think that's why I was so eager to get you on the channel, because I think it's very important for people to understand that as time goes by, there's going to be more infrastructure in place and the ease of use of people being able to come into the space, not just from an investment perspective, but actually utilizing the crypto or tokens that they have, as well as potential fiat on ramping and things like that. So I think when I was looking, and these numbers always change obviously on a yearly basis, but the last statistic, which I believe came from the latter stage of last year, was around 420 million existing crypto users worldwide. And I thought, okay, that sounds like a big number, but actually when we look at the general population of the world, around, I think it's like 8.1 billion people, that then equates that 420 million to, excuse the maths, but around about 5.2%. So of course, there's loads of things, variables in that situation, in the sense that we might have loads of different generations. Some might not be interested in the crypto side, and some maybe. Some come about with the educational piece that's coming about more and more so than ever. I think the main thing is, when I was at a recent Digital Pound Foundation event, was the essence around the fact that the day that this all becomes successful is the day we stop discussing it, and it just becomes reality. It just is what it is. It's what we use as normality. From the Swipelux perspective, why is it important that Swipelux brings in all these people to Web3? And like, how do you see Swipelux doing this? What makes Swipelux tick to be able to have more and more people come into the space?
Yeah, I really love the quote that you said. That's usually what we also try to present to our partners, that the Web3 is going to be successful when we are going to stop calling it Web3 and only just like web. And the way how you divide the users is not based, oh, they are in Web3, but rather they are in financial products, if they're going to be, working in DeFi, and they'll just not know that it is Web3 and it's going to be in the backend, and you literally don't know how it works. Like today, when you are buying subscription for Netflix, maybe you also don't really know how the transaction is going on, like what is happening inside. You just buy and you get access to what you actually want to get access, and you get the utilization out of it. So also there is an interesting analysis from Anderson Horowitz Fund, A16, that until 2027 there's going to be 900 million of users trying to get into the Web3, and will have a problem because of the lack of user experience. And it's like, imagine going to a shop to buy what you can buy. I don't know, a t-shirt. Yeah, let's just start with a t-shirt, and the guy would tell you like, okay, you can buy the t-shirt. I know you like it, but in order for you to get it out of the shop and wear it, please go to this exchange, bring your euros, exchange it to USDT, and don't forget to also open up a MetaMask account. You can do it is here, and don't forget to store your private keys on this piece of paper. Don't ever show it to anyone. It's just horrible. And so what we do is we try to get this user experience smooth and super easy to onboard to. So we've built this set of products and toolings we are offering to customers. On one hand, we are helping customers to create a wallet with just a Gmail account. So the only thing you do is to just like log in with your Gmail account. We'll be soon adding socials. You'll be logging in with just a Twitter account, maybe Facebook account, Instagram account, whatever you have, and you'll open up a wallet. You'll not know how it works. You'll not know how everything is going to be stored, and you don't even care about it that much. Second thing we help with is an option to top up the account. So you have already a wallet. We enable users to top up the account with just Visa, MasterCard, with fiat payments. And the last thing that we've kicked off and lately is since we are in the onboarding industry, and we are building onboarding infrastructure, we also believe that one of the things that currently is not built right is the experience when it comes to identification. So for anybody who might not know about it, whenever you are interacting with any centralized exchange or any DApp that is doing exchange service, you need to provide a KYC or a certain type of identity verification. And we believe that the future is going to look like you only pass KYC once on the internet, and then you're going to get your data stored in the wallet. And then with this wallet, you'll be proving as you are a real human. You will be able to share the data from this wallet. So that's what we've also built. But we also believe that people will not be having wallets in their pockets. They'll be just having this wallet or whatever app it will be, which it will store your funds, your healthcare data, your passport details. Whenever you will be, you'll always have it with you. And that's what we're trying to bring to the market, ensuring that the end user is going to get only the benefits from the great products that the founders in the Web3 industry are building, and get the bad user experience under the blanket.
That's really interesting. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind about digital identities and things. I mean, I'm a firm believer that whether we like it or not, I'm pretty adamant that biometric payment or biometric identity will come into fruition over the next 5-10 years, especially with artificial intelligence. So we'll come back to that shortly, because I've got quite an interesting question I want to add to the topic list for sure. Now, one of the other fascinating areas for me is the kind of like real world asset tokenization. We talk about a lot on the channel. And this is like my kind of personal excitement, if you like, for the years to come with the utilization of cryptography and blockchain in general as a space. I'm interested to know where you see the adoption of Web3 or crypto going in the coming years, and what excites you personally, but also what excites you from the business perspective as well. So I think everyone would be quite interested to see your thoughts in your personal feelings about it, but also what Swipelux is perhaps doing strategically, business wise, to accommodate what we feel is going to come in these coming years.
Yeah, sure. So business-wise, what keeps me extremely interested, not per se for Swipelux reasons, but maybe more per se to open up Web3 to this huge industry is literally lending and providing financial services to the end users in the Web3 space. Because right now, like crypto in general is about payments, right? Like it was designed like that initially. Okay, right now there are some games and trying to build
Yeah.
this initiative for play to earn, and I love them. We do have many customers in this field, and it's amazing. But one of the things that so far have failed to scale is trying to take a loan, mortgage, or anything in Web3.
Hmm.
It is not there. And it's a huge market. Right now, there are these lending protocols in Web3, but you need to put a collateral of 150%. 150%. So imagine going
Mm.
to a bank trying to lend money for rebuilding of your house. You need to put 150% collateral. It just simply doesn't make sense. And the reason why it's not working is first regulations. There is lack of regulations around that.
Sure.
But the second is there is a lack of risk score related data attached to a wallet addresses of the users.
Hmm.
And that's where we also try to hop in with the zero ID because we are able to wrap certain data to a wallet address, and we are giving an opportunity for the user to decide, do you want to share this or you don't want to share this? Do you want to just maybe share a proof that you have a certain amount of assets in your wallet without revealing the actual amount? So I believe that this 600 billion market size market is going to
Mm.
open up to someone really, really smart who will design it. And I think we will be able to help to bring those data while keeping the users anonymous. But from the Swipelux perspective, where we are seeing a big opportunity is for sure it's on the on-ramping. Like it's no longer a question. If you want to onboard users from Web2, you need to give them an easy option to pay with fiat. That's no longer a question. We are really great at this and we are scaling quite fast. But the underlying magic, which we really, really believe that is gonna change the user experience, is literally gonna be the identification. So there's gonna be a huge regulation coming, 2025, called MiCA. What this is going to change is that any decentralized app that is currently holding assets of clients or providing exchange service or doing transfer service are going to require identification of the customers. Right now, 95% is not doing that.
Hmm.
And what we will bring in 2025 is literally the option like, okay, I've just opened up a MetaMask account or a wallet address. I pass a KYC inside of the wallet address, and that's the last time I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to an exchange and I'm going to verify myself with the wallet. I'm not going to do it again. So I'm going to have the data stored only in one wallet, and I'm just going to be sharing the proof. This is going to make the user experience really amazing. And for the businesses, it's going to decrease dramatically the customer acquisition costs because whenever you ask for KYC of the customer, well, nobody likes it, which means that you have a lot of drop-off rate, which means that you are spending a lot of money on the customer acquisition cost. So we believe that we really can bring, and not only to Web3, we really believe that we can bring to the market the option for anyone to store the data in their wallet. Whenever you're traveling to a different country and maybe something bad happens to you, you maybe don't have the same health data records with you as you have in your local country. And the doctor needs to know that. What is your allergy? What is your DNA test? I don't know what, I'm not the doctor, but these doctors need to have a
Yeah,
certain
absolutely.
documents around you. Yeah, so we really believe that we can bring this to the market, and that makes me extremely excited. And um, we are uncovering the use cases on everyday basis, and we are really, really hyped around it.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, there's just so many industries and sectors that this can apply to, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. Just from the healthcare perspective, even within, I don't know what it's like where you are, Philly, but there's always disjointment in the medical facilities and things here in the UK, and not talking to each other, and someone's had to explain their situation over and over again, and that's just the medical, electronic medical records side of things. And of course, one thing I've looked into recently and been attending is like, trade finance, electronic trade documents, all these things being tokenized using smart contract, and then the facilitation of that, I guess, as well, where Swipelux comes in. I mean, it's just a giant market, and it's not even just the number of people, but the monetary value of this area is absolutely huge. You mentioned a few numbers earlier. It's quite unbelievable. But I think one of the interesting things that's sort of occurring right now, and I'm going to refer, I can't remember the exact wording, but it was a post that you made on LinkedIn maybe a month or so ago, and you were talking about 4 pillars, and it kind of like loops this whole conversation in, really, especially in terms of the things that you're perhaps personally or from a business perspective quite excited about. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was around digital identity, which you've pretty much covered a bit of that just now, in smart contract application, crypto usage in general. And I think there's always still a dominant conversation around decentralization versus centralization. And you made an interesting point in relation to something called basic universal income. And it is something I've been tracking probably since around 2015, when I first saw these sort of things through like the World Economic Forum's initiatives and UN documentation and stuff like this. So it's really interesting to see more and more people talking about this. And I know from that post you made, you've got a really interesting thought process around the introduction or the increase in AI jobs, etc. And what really pinpoints this between you and I is the fact that we've particularly worked on within that project, when I was working on it within the gaming industry, for that play to earn mechanism. I think that to earn economy is very much on our doorstep and will replace a lot of jobs potentially. Like, people will actually just actively have to maybe work for tokens to get money to then transfer that. Hence why maybe Swipelux is that intermediary to go, oh, I've got a load of tokens, I want to switch this to fiat, potentially CBDCs in the future, who knows what's going on. Could you maybe explain maybe a bit more thought process for the audience around that sort of 4-pillar approach? What do you think, in your opinions, really coming towards this, and where do you see like that basic universal income link up with Swipelux and this whole kind of like to earn economy that's coming as well?
Yeah, so I think that every person at least would be able to, if I would ask them, like, what job you think will disappear in 2 years, every person would be able to answer this question extremely fast and clearly. So there is no longer a question that lots of jobs are going to be disappearing. And then it brings a question, okay, so what's going to be happening with the people who will not have the job? And not only that, like, what's going to be happening when we are going to have robots and pieces of codes being more efficient and more smart than us? Like, do we actually want to fight for just the fact that we are humans who can do the job better than the robots if it's not true? I think personally that we shouldn't. I think that we should give the technology an option to help us a bit. And this is going to definitely change the way how we work. So there are lots of topics wrapped around it. So there are these thoughts of working from Monday to Thursday. There are these thoughts of creating the new job opportunities, but there are also thoughts on creating these universal basic income, which is practically believing if we are going to be giving away money to people every month from the government pocket, it's going to have an impact on lowering down the poverty, or it's going to increase the moral aspect of the behavior. We would be able to decrease the cost spent on the military resources because the people will be behaving better, and lots of topics and lots of questions around it. And I think that nobody has the right answer. And I think that the reason why nobody has the right answer is that there has not been enough tests yet made done. And I'm not an economist, and I don't want to put myself in the position of trying to act smart on how I think the future is going to look like. But what we at Swipelux are willing to provide to the market, and we'll be happy to do that, is to help to get the data towards the people who will be making the decision. So there are lots of initiatives around the universal basic income. For example, try to give away money to pregnant women without without a man, or how this will turn out, or trying to give right now. We are going to probably launch an initiative to giving away money to women in Africa. How
Wow,
this is
cool.
going to turn out. So the thing how we are helping is that if you are giving away money to a public, you need to have some kind of verification system of who you are giving it to. Is it a male or is it a female? What is the income they have? How old they are, and certain data that are related to you as a human. Um, and what we will be providing is the option to verify those data and then being able to share a proof that the data are real without revealing the actual data.
Hmm.
So that's, for example, what we'll be launching probably in Africa really soon. And we'll be trying out these initiatives more and more, because I really do think that in order to make a decision, we need to bring more data to the table, and
Absolutely.
then just like see how it will roll out. Because I don't want to be over optimistic. Like, there are lots of downsides to it. It's going to be potentially extreme increase in inflation. The rich people are going to be probably getting richer because the people who are maybe poor, they're going to have more money to spend, and they're going to be spending it. And so the price is going to increase of each of the asset. And yeah, like, it can have lots of downsides, but also lots of the good things. So it's just a big decision to make. I'm happy that I'm not the one making the decision, but I'm happy I'm the one that will help to make the
That's
decision.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think, yeah, exactly what you said is, I feel like we're in a data mining area of the world right now. I was always adamant that Elon was taking Twitter to eventually convert into some form of kind of crypto payment aspect, but more importantly, maybe a digital identity, in the sense that actually these kind of platforms see so many behavioral patterns over a period of time, and ultimately that's data, and data drives everything, in my opinion. And I think you've hit the nail on the head with the sense that these decisions are massive. I know there's trials. I think even in Wales here in the UK, there's a couple of trials going on with basic universal income. Your 4-day mention was quite interesting. I think that was trialed heavily in Africa a few years ago, very successful, saw productivity go up, albeit the hours maybe increased per day. So there's loads of really interesting things. But it's great that we've got people like you and companies like yourselves that are going to be helping towards that advice, that guidance, the guidelines, to hopefully make the right decisions, whoever makes those at the top. It's a very imperative time, I think, these next sort of 5 years, to determine, like, really how humanity and society will move forwards. It sounds crazy that in our lifetime we'd be looking at strange things like this, but the technological advancements, as you say, with artificial intelligence, the operations of blockchain with KYC, the process and the validation, is the right time for us to be looking at this, for sure. So it's really exciting to hear that from you. I guess on that note, Philippe, to kind of maybe wrap up this awesome interview, I'm keen to maybe hear from you in regards to potential exciting developments that may be occurring with Swipelux right now or in the near future. And I'm sure many out there that'd be very interested to hear, what's coming with yourselves, and what to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, so we definitely wanna make the product for the fiat on ramping and off ramping stronger. We wanna make the product for creating the wallet better. But to be honest, like, the amount of time that we spend on trying to find a way how we can utilize the identity solution is increasing day by day. Because we are feeling quite comfortable already with the fiat on ramp. Not saying we are the best one, but quite comfortable. And we are looking for this new thing where we can disrupt the industry and being able to bundle it together with the things we've already built, which is the payment business. And we are working heavily on 7 huge hypotheses. One of them is UBI. Second of them is these AGI agents, and trying to help customers to non-technical users to use AI products in GitHub It's like a quite new thing. We've managed to be able to integrate it with the largest AGI agent in the space called BUI, which is an amazing, largest AGI agent. And this was like the first customer we've got. And we have additional 5 hypotheses for how we can utilize the zero ID. So maybe a little sneak peek would be for the lending protocols. So another hypothesis we have for that is trying to bring the credit risk score system towards the wallet addresses of the users. So then enabling lending protocols to do under collateralized lending, which is going to be a huge market. And we're just going to be rolling out products at each of these hypotheses, and we'll see what will take off. I don't know. But it's just like we're building these small products right now and just enjoying talking to the customers, seeing the result. And if it will have a bad result, we'll just, throw it in a bin and just work on something else. So stabilizing on ramp, making better wallet creation, and then just like find a market where we will skyrocket with the zero ID and will help like 100,000s of users. And yeah, that's I think that what the next year is going to look like.
Well, there's obviously like massive things ahead, Philippe. It's super exciting. It just leaves me to say, obviously, massive thank you for coming on the channel. Absolutely would love you back on in the coming months, especially if there's further developments and things. But I think it's as we've said, it's a really exciting time for the space, and I just feel like with the bull cycle, whenever that comes, maybe in the next year or two, you will potentially have this huge mass wave coming in once again, like we've seen in previous cycles. I think from an investor's perspective, that's quite exciting. But actually, as we're really venturing into the utility side and that adoption of Web3 services, I'm sure as time goes by, that terminology of Web3 will slowly peter out, and it would actually, as we said earlier, it would just be normal. And it's great to see Swipelux is at the forefront of all this advancement. So absolutely massively appreciate you coming on the channel. We're very excited to continue to see your developments, and of course I'll always be in touch with you, Philippe. So thanks so much.
Thank you very much for coming here. It was great chatting with you.
Thanks, Philippe. We'll see you soon. Well, I hope you found that interview interesting. I certainly did. It was great to catch up with Philippe again from a personal level, but certainly trying to enthuse people out there about what's to come. Really exciting solutions being put into place here, especially from the likes of Swipelux, to encourage a new audience coming into the crypto sphere, whether it's, as I said in the interview, the investors themselves like you and I, or institutional levels, whatever level really. But outside of that, also when we get to talk about utilization and adoption of crypto assets, or the tokenization of assets in this format in the coming years, and maybe decades to come as well. These are the real fine blueprints and foundations to be put into place, and the integrations, for another word, perhaps even the bridging aspect of bringing businesses together, linking them up with this opportunity, this new opportunity for financial freedom, potentially the opportunity as well for finalizing payments quicker, or indeed if you've got your own stablecoin, your own tokens in general, to be able to on-ramp those back and forth with fiat and vice versa, and within each other's interoperable aspects. It's a really exciting time ahead, and I really appreciate Philippe's time. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll definitely have them back on the channel very soon, but again, just another great utility aspect of crypto, and a solution provider of how they can help bridge that Web 2, Web 3 gap and make it even easier for people to utilize crypto in the way that they really want to moving forward. So definitely a bit of an eye-opener in some aspects for me as well when we discussed a few of those things, and hopefully you learned something as well. We'll keep you guys updated on Swipelux movement. As I said, we'll have them on the channel again soon, but thank you so much for watching this one. We'll see you in the next educational video. Take care. Bye-bye.